Hello everyone, Blugoblin here. Welcome to my first of many Midtown Comics Stash videos. I got about 2 weeks worth of books to review here. So instead of doing just one great big long video, I'm going to chop up each of the companies that I've been reading here for these past 2 weeks. Now for this particular video, I'm going to be talking about Marvel and DC. In the next videos to come, whenever I'm able to get them up, I'll be talking about stuff from Dynamite, Dark Horse, Image, Top Cow, etc., etc. And I'm going to try my best to separate them by company. And what I'm also wanting to do is do a separate video just for Xenoscope's Oz, because I got 4 issues of Oz to review. I also do stuff for Image Comics with Velvet, Dark Horse with Tomb Raider, and some other titles as well. I figured it'd be simpler to just do several small videos rather than just one great big, probably 2-hour long video. So just be patient. I can only get these videos out as quickly as I can. I gotta find the time to do them, and blah 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 blah. And also, before I get started, I want to give a big thank you once again to Midtown Comics, and especially to my bro, Chris, TheMtVernonKid, one of the best friends I've ever had. Thanks, bro, for your patience, and thanks for the respect, and thanks for sending me these books. I'm going to start with DC and end with Marvel. Let's put the Marvels aside for a second. We're going to start with DC. It's all Batwings. Batwing number 27. We're starting with this. This is a tie-in to Gothtopia. Even though the cover doesn't suggest it, it is a tie-in to Gothtopia. And in this one, we get to see what's going on in Gothtopia from Luke Fox's perspective, and it's done very well. He senses something is off. He doesn't immediately figure out, oh, something's wrong. This is not the Gotham I know. He's like everybody else when Gothtopia started. He believes that he is in the safest place in the country. He believes that Gotham City is a serene place where nothing goes wrong. There's hardly any crime. Yet, for some reason, he also is picking up on all these weird suicides going around. And something starts to put 2 and 2 together when I'm guessing that the toxins and everything that's making everybody hallucinate is starting to wear down a little bit. And he's finally able to start piecing things together. It's like, something's just not right. I'm losing days. I'm thinking it's Wednesday when it's Monday, or he's saying stuff like that. And he's thinking, oh God, something's not right here. And it doesn't really truly hit him until his dad, Lucius Fox, becomes one of those guys, one of those people in Gotham City who's on the brink of committing suicide. He goes nuts, and he's just going to end it. And so he saves his dad, and he finds out that there is something wrong. And he actually concocts an antitoxin to counteract the hallucinations. So basically, Luke Fox is able to create an antidote, to give to himself, and he gives one to his dad, and he gives out some vials to give to the rest of his family, but Lucius Fox is no fool. He notices it's like, hey, you should have gave me an extra one for my son Luke, and he's like, he can't say, hey Dad, I'm Batwing. He can't do that, so he's like, I gave Luke his already. He says something like that, just a clever excuse. But he's like, oh shit, should have thought about that. He's kind of feeling that way, and it's very well done. And you think, oh, that's how the issue ends. It's like the Fox family, they're doing okay, and everything's back to normal, right? Oh boy. Now, in this issue, we see the return of somebody from Luke's past, and I'm not going to spoil who that is. And he's got some help, and I'm not going to spoil who the help is either. But what I will say is that the cliffhanger at the end of the issue, oh my God, Luke's sister Tamra has been kidnapped, and the last page is damn creepy. It is just creepy as fuck. Very, very well done cliffhanger. I'm not gonna spoil who took her. I won't, because it was such a good and creepy cliffhanger that it just made me, I just couldn't wait to read the next issue. And that's where we come up to issue number 28. Luke is going crazy. Maybe not him, but his mother certainly is. They're just going nuts. Where is Tamra? Where is she? What do they got to do to help them? And it's at this point where I got to say, I honestly have to say I'm enjoying Batwing much more than I am Batman right now. Hashtag 0 year sucks. Deal with it, DC Comics. But the thing is, it's just incredibly well done in here. We get to see Batwing go a little bit further than Batman usually does when it comes to interrogations and everything. Very, very well handled. But at the same time, there's like, I kind of chuckled a little bit when I saw Commissioner Gordon use the term baby mama. I couldn't help but laugh at that. And then there's a moment where Batwing in this issue has a moment that reminds me of a certain yellow ninja from a certain fighting game franchise. It's just hilarious. Yet at the same time, I'm trying not to laugh at it too much because Luke is probably more serious than he's ever been in his role of Batwing. It's gotten to the point where, you know, he's like saying, I'm going to do this, and the thug says, go right ahead, and he does it. You know, and I'm not going to spoil what that is either. But, you know, he's trying to find out any information he can. And then, on top of that, after the drama with Luke, his mom, and his dad, you know, his little sister, Tiff, I believe is her name, Tiffany, you know, she's staying over at a friend's house, you know, staying away from the drama, which I think is a good idea. But then we get to the cliffhanger of this issue. Holy fucking Christ. Can this get any more personal? Oh my God. I don't want to ruin the cliffhanger, but when I talk about the next issue, I kind of feel like I'm going to. But I'm going to try my best not to ruin the cliffhanger, because the cliffhanger is just, whoa! And that leads us into Batwing number 29. Oh my God, Luke is just... You can tell by the way he acts in this, it's just like, his heart is just racing, and he's just full of anger because of what's going on in here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and have to spoil what happened at the end of the last issue. His little sister Tiffany got taken. And it's all going back to this certain someone from Luke's past. I'm still not going to spoil who's behind this, because this storytelling is so good, I'm trying my best not to give too much away, because you need to be reading this stuff. It's very well done. And Luke finds an underground city. A city underground that's damn near closely, you know, big enough to be a very well-populated city. It's not just a bunch of burrows or nothing, but not a bunch of tents underground. It's a legitimate underground city. And wow, just simply, he's just astonished by what he sees. Now, there is some bad news that I am going to have to spoil because it adds to the drama. They find Tamara, his older sister. They find Tamara. But something happened to her while she was captive. And when they take her to the hospital, the doctor has horrible news about her. And it's painful to read, because the way the parents and Luke are drawn, you can really see the emotional heartbreak on their faces, and you can't blame Lucius for snapping when he's told what's happened to Tamara. It is so emotionally powerfully done. It's not drawn out. It's not highly emphasized. It's the writers and the artists did what they had to do to get an emotional connection to me, the reader, and I felt it. It was a great moment, even though it was incredibly sad. Just really good stuff. And later in the issue, Luke finds this underground city. He's trying to find his little sister, and he comes across a group of thugs who look like Anubis and everything, and he's just beating the living hell out of him. But the numbers gang up on him, and then we get to the cliffhanger of this issue. Holy shit, I gotta say, are Gray and Palmiani, are they taking courses of cliffhangers from Peter David? I mean, goddamn, these cliffhangers have been incredible. Added to the drama, added to the storytelling, making it so fun to read. So well done. I love this stuff. And yeah, I'm saying it. Batwing is better than Batman right now. The main series of Batman. Like I said before, I'm going to say it again. Hashtag 0 year sucks. This is really good. And now we're moving on to Marvel. I usually go in alphabetical order when I review, but I'm saving the best for last for a reason. We're going to start off with Punisher #1. Edmondson and Gerard's. I'm sorry if I butchered your names, but y'all did a great job here. I gave up on Punisher a long time ago because I just realized, I realized the nail in the coffin for me was when Dakin shredded him up and then he was turned into Frankencastle. At that point, I was like, nope, I'm done. Because if you're going to do something like that to Punisher, then he's not safe. It makes me believe that Marvel will do whatever they want to do with him, and I can't get emotionally connected to the series if they're going to do stupid shit like that. But Chris gave me a chance to get reconnected with the Punisher again, and this was a strong beginning to this volume. This was really good. I get to see the Punisher that I like. He's a vigilante, but he respects the law. He doesn't hold any punches. He believes if lethal force is needed, he uses it. And he doesn't fuck around. And this was a strong introduction or a reintroduction to older and newer fans on just what kind of a character Frank Castle is. Now, he's no longer in New York. He's working in other countries. His mainstay is now in Los Angeles. He's making new friends. He's making new contacts and everything like that, and that's good. And I love the there's a scene where he's interrogating a drug dealer on a boat, and it's very well told. And I love what he said to the thug when he says, "Hey, don't touch my gun." And that's all I'm going to say about that. And he's also interrogating another guy, and he's got him handcuffed in a car. He says, "You're going to tell me who's dealing these drugs and everything like that." And he says, "You're not going to, when you go in there, they're going to gun you down." And he pulls out a bazooka and he said, "Who says I was going in?" And he blows the shit up. And the guy's saying, "Hey, are you going to leave me in here?" And he said, "Well, you insulted my car." This is good stuff. This is the Punisher I like. This is Punisher. Fuck that Frankencastle shit. This is Frank Castle. This is the Punisher. This is what he is and what he's supposed to be. And the ending of this issue shows the return of it's not technically a return, it's a new version of an old school team from way back in the day. And I'm not going to ruin who that is. I'm not going to ruin what they are or what they call themselves. This was a strong, solid introduction to the Punisher, to this new series. I loved it. It was great. Moving on to Punisher #2. This was just as good as #1, if not even better. This was great. Fantastic stuff. You get to see Punisher continue to do what he does best, and that's kicking ass, chewing bubblegum, but he's out of bubblegum. You know what I'm saying? Great stuff. But like I said, he's a vigilante who deals with lethal force sometimes, but he still respects the law, and he respects people who try to uphold the law, and stuff like that. It's just really, really good stuff. There's a deal going down somewhere in Mexico. He's tracking down a gang in Mexico, but somebody already got to them, and and he's like staking out this little weapons deal and everything. Something goes wrong, and he missed out on taking down the crooks as the deal was going down. But he finds out that there's this gang who has got this new and really powerful weapon, and they're also dealing with some chemical warfare and everything like that. And it's just really, really good stuff. But then as we get more and more into this, Frank is trying to take down some thugs and everything, and he comes face to face with this new weapon. It's none other than our old buddy Electro. Oh my God. That's how the book ends. Fantastic stuff. I loved it. And that leads us into issue number 3. This is the reason why I had to spoil that Electro showed up in number 2, because all you got to do is just look at this cover and you're like, yeah, it's Electro. And Electro is no bitch in this book. It's very, very nicely done. But the gang that he's working for tells him, it's like, hey, look, you're our hired weapon, you're our hired help. Just don't flash it just don't flash it. We got to try our best to be inconspicuous. They say stuff like that and everything, and Electro's like, look, I work for you, but I'm not your lackey. It's just really, really well told. Fantastic stuff. The action was good. I mean, this was really good. Really good. We get some more scenes involving a certain group that I still refuse to spoil from the first issue. They're still looking for Punisher. I don't know what their true intentions are. They keep talking about taking him out. I don't know what their plans are. I don't know who's hired them, who's talking to them, or what. But who knows where that could lead. Meanwhile, Punisher still got his hands full with this group, and he's still got to deal with Electro. And the cliffhanger at the end of this issue suggests that things ain't going so well for Frank, and I'm really intrigued as to where this story goes from here. Very good stuff. I loved it. If you're a Punisher fan, I promise you, you will like this series. Get on board. I'm only 3 issues in, so it's not too late to jump on board with Punisher. And we're going to end this with something awesome. Magneto, number 1. I told myself I probably wasn't going to get this because I didn't like how Marvel was doing Magneto most of the time. But my bro Chris, he hooked me up with the first issue. It's basically just a trial. If I didn't, I believe he said if I didn't like it, he wouldn't put it on my poll. But Chris, if you're watching, guess what, dude? I loved this. And I'm not forcing you to. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's your decision. But I would like to see more of this series. This was incredible. Cullen Bunn just nails it in here. I got to see some of the Magneto that I like. I got to see some old school badassness from Magneto in here. Yes, he still has some of the heroic aspects to him that we've seen for the past couple of years in the X-Men books. You're not going to get away from that just like that. I mean, it's going to take time for Magneto to revert back to the kind of man that he was before, as some fans have coined it, before he became Dick Summers, Cyclops. I call him Dick Summers, but some people are saying he became one of Cyclops' lapdogs. He's basically been working for Dick Summers for the past couple of years, and I'm one of those fans that wasn't 100% fond of Magneto being on an X-Men team. He's always been the quintessential X-Men villain. Every hero or superhero group has got their arch rivals. Spider-Man has the Green Goblin. Fuck Dr. Octopus. Spider-Man's arch enemy is the Green Goblin. Batman has the Joker. It's basically like that. Superman has Lex Luthor. The X-Men have Magneto. No matter who they've tangled with, whether it be the Purifiers, the Friends of Humanity, Mr. Sinister, the Sentinels, AIM, whatever. Their quintessential X-Men villain for me has always been Magneto. And I got to see some of that. And I mean, literally some of that character back and done very well. The story begins in a little town in Missouri called Cape Girardeau, which is probably a butchering of the town of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, which I've been to that town. It's a nice little town. But there's this, somebody tells a story about a man who was, controlling metal and everything, about what he did to a certain doctor, and it's just really gruesome. I mean, we get to see the cold-heartedness of Magneto to a certain extent, and it's very well told. But then we get to the cliffhanger. I loved how Magneto got his new helmet too, and I'm not going to ruin that. All I'm going to say is that I fucking loved it. It's great. Very ironic and poetic. I loved it. But the cliffhanger, Jesus Christ, the cliffhanger was awesome. Magneto's got his back against the wall. What's he going to do? It's one of those kinds of cliffhangers, and it's fucking incredible. I loved this. Cullen Bunn just killed it with this. Chris, like I said, bro, if you're watching, look, I'm just asking you as a friend. You don't have to, but I would love to see more of this series. If you don't mind, please put this on my pull at Midtown. If you don't want to, that's fine. I understand. It's your, like I said, it's your decision. But this was simply fantastic. I loved it. It wasn't perfect, but like I always say, look at it for what it is and just think of it. Was it a good read? Did it entertain you? And this was great. Simply amazing. Well, that's all I got for this video for the Marvel and DC stuff for my Midtown comic stash. Like I said, I got about a couple more weeks worth of books to go through, and I'm going to try to separate them by company, you know. And just stay tuned to this channel for the videos when they come up. There's no set schedule for these videos. I just do them when I can. Please subscribe to this channel, blugoblinX. Don't forget my main channel, Blugoblin01. Show some love and respect to my bro, TheMtVernonKid, to all of his channels. Subscribe to all of them. You're in for some good entertainment, I promise you. Don't forget about Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, Mark and Chloe at Fast Second Comics. Don't forget about my girlfriend and I. We do in our channel Arkham Asylum Studio. Follow me on Twitter at Blugoblin01. Follow me on Tumblr if you want to. Don't forget my old buddies Brandon Hex and Deadpoolzilla. Thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, I'll see you all later.